Hey everyone, we're back with the Math Podcast and we have a new guest for you, Adam Bell. Thanks for joining us. Adam is a content creator here in Vancouver, BC, as well as a local realtor. And we're excited to have you on.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the intro. No, I don't have to do it myself. So, yeah.
Why don't you just jump into it and let us know kind of what you do and talk more about what the day-to-day look like.
So yeah, like you said, I am a realtor and a creator here in Vancouver. I'd say my day-to-day life, it kind of more recently, like I've been doing a lot of showings. One day I'd be in like North Vancouver and then I'd be in Burnaby in the same day. And it was just like, that's like so many hours of driving that we brought some people onto our real estate team so I can just focus on content because that's what I love to do. And that's like, I think what I'm best at. I'm trying to, I watched Ali Abdal's podcast recently, if you know the creator, and he used to be a doctor and now he's a creator instead. And he's like, when you have a team and you have like 1 + 1 for people, it's not 2, it can be like 5 or like 10. And I was like, you know what? I need to stop wasting my time driving around in the car. So more recently, I've been like trying to just get on the content game and like push out as much long form and short form as possible. Sometimes I'm doing the street interviews because people love those. So I'm experimenting with those. And sometimes I'm doing property tours in, cool place like this.
That's insane. Well, on the topic of content creation, we also have a guest co-host here today, my man DK.
What up?
So in terms of content creation, what do you find does the best right now in terms of, let's say, social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok?
Just in general, like what does
in terms
the
of
best?
what do you do you find that there's 1 or 2 things that you consistently do that in certain clips that get the most views? Is it the crazy house? Is it the intro? Is it the length of the video?
Yeah, I'd say like all those things play like a small part into it, but obviously it's like those first couple. I do different types of content. There's interviews, and then there's like tours, and then there's like date ideas to do in the city with your girlfriend or partner or whatever. And those ones, they all have different things that like trigger how well they do. The first 2 seconds of like a property tour where there's like a girl in the background or something like that, or sometimes it's like
something that draws your eye to it.
Yeah, something that draws your eye to it, or like the guys, be going crazy or whatever in the comments. And the first couple seconds of like the pool or the insane like outdoor gym, like those kind of things where people are like, okay, I'm gonna watch the rest. Like obviously the hook is important. That's for property tours. For maybe like date stuff around the city, it's like I always try to say, tag who you're gonna beat in a race in this maze or whatever. Like that's what I did with my girlfriend, and that video did super well because I was like little call to action, a little bit of fun. And then the street interview stuff, it was like Daniela said when she was on the podcast, it's like just attractive people or maybe something crazy. Like I interviewed a girl, crazy outfit or crazy energy, something like that. I interviewed this one girl. I was guessing her rent, and it was like $900 for her own apartment downtown Vancouver. And like, so at the start I was crazy. I cut to the clip and I was like, that's the lowest rent that's going to be in this whole video. Yeah. And that was the hook. And then that one did like, better out of all the rest of them. So
I find it's interesting is maybe you've seen it too, but realtors lately, no disrespect, I don't know if it's the market.
Hey, watch yourself, bro.
I don't know if it's the market and they need to be consistent, which I think is fantastic that, consistency is everything, but they've almost completely geared away from real estate in terms of what they're posting and they're putting out there. And
what are they posting now?
Some of them are like talking about how dating advice. I
haven't seen that.
They're becoming like Tony Robbins, you know what I mean? Really? And
like momotivational.
Motivational.
I have something to say on that, but keep
there's
going.
Tons of them. And don't get me wrong, I think realtors are all entrepreneurs, and I think it's a dog war out there for them. So I think there's a respect part to that, but I think to some extent you need to kind of stay in your own lane. But I think what you're doing is much more creative in the sense that you're being that realtor who also shines light on the city rather than pushing your own thoughts into people's heads, which I think is doing a lot better than the latter of it. Yeah.
And I actually had an interesting conversation on this point recently, which was like realtors are almost like these days they're forced to be creators because that's how you keep in front of people. It's not like throwing a door hanger or an email once in a while. Like, yeah, those can work, or in the newspaper. Like, that stuff is old. So people are like, they wouldn't be creators or social media people, but they are, since they're realtors, and that's what you do these days. So what do? It's just like a lot of first-time creators. They go, they look online and they're like, okay, what should I do for my content? And if they don't have like a passion right away, usually it goes to like being, what they post is like almost motivational. It's almost like perfect. It's almost like, look at my great lifestyle, like stuff like this. Yeah. So I think that's probably why it's coming in.
You know what's crazy is that like when you said, before the podcast started, and when you said like, oh, like I'm a content creator and a realtor, and then you started telling me, I was like, holy, that's fucking genius, man. Like honestly, props to you, because like I work with realtors, right? Obviously listing content and everything like that, and then there's like the financial company that I have. Like, so just a side note, like for realtors, we help them scale their businesses, improve their content, branding, all that kind of stuff, right?
For only 3 low payments.
right. And but like it's so dope though, because it's like I've literally never heard anybody have that approach, and it's just like, you think about it, it's like, holy, like you said, people have to be content creators these days. Same way I feel about like, music, right? Like everybody knows music. Like if you're an artist, you got to be a content creator now too, right? Facts. So it's like interesting to see you see that already in real estate and like make that move. Like it's just, that's crazy. Like it's,
you got to be pumping your face and your brand out so like daily.
Yeah, daily.
If not hourly or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah.
Do you how much planning goes into what when you see someone, you're going to approach them? Have you already thought out what you're going to say, or is it just on the fly?
Are you talking about street interviews?
Street interviews, yeah.
So I'm someone who believes in like a lot of preparation is what makes a good piece of content. Okay. Yeah. So like everything is very planned, but when it's videos like street interviews or where I need to talk to the camera and it needs to feel very organic, then it's like they're bullet points, but they're planned. Yeah. So it's like, not every word is scripted, but I'll interview video and I'll have 10 questions that I will ask people if I'm going to guess their rent. And then I'll just try to remember while I'm sitting there with them, like 5 or 6, or like sometimes I forget one of them and it doesn't make it in the video because I forgot, but I'd rather do that than like be looking at my phone and stuff. Cause like, that's how you make those special moments, that like the hooks and the crazy stuff. Maybe ask like a little bit of an edgy question and you're going to get a little bit of an edgy answer, right? Yeah. That's like how it works. So most of my stuff is like planned. Right. But not with what the people say. Of
course. How often, like, I'm assuming you tell them, hey, are you okay with being on camera first, or do you just kind of go up to their face?
So I have it like usually set up, like we have this camera here that's facing, you guys. And I would like, usually it's set up on a tripod, and I ask people not in line of the camera. So it'll be just on, it'll be standing there, but I'm holding a microphone. Right. And sometimes what I often do, because the first couple times when I would ask people, they'd be like, oh, get away from me, or like they think I'm gonna prank them or something like that. So I got like one of those paper board signs, and then I wrote like guessing rent or guessing jobs or like win cash for one of this newest videos that I did, so people can almost like see it, and they're big letters and from a little bit far away, and then so I can tell if they're interested. Exactly. If they read it and they're like, what the fuck? And then they walk the other way, then I'm like, okay, well obviously they're not interested. But yeah.
Okay. So I kind of give success rate, you think?
Honestly, I'd say like 65.
Okay. And what's
you say yes to be an interview?
The overall demographic? I know you said obviously the ones that do the best are people that are, let's say, good looking or have something interesting about them. But in terms of demographic that find that all consistently say yes to being on camera, are they usually younger?
Yeah. It's like people in their 20s or 30s, I'd say. Like most of the older people, like I said, they think like I'm about to prank them and steal their money.
Yeah, where are you going to post this?
Yeah. They just like don't really get it. Yeah. Or like, why would I want to be in the video type of thing? Like, it's cool to be on social media for people closer to our age most of the time. Or like
and Vancouver's so small. Yeah. Like when you post a video, someone will know who that person is.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. I was working with a brand partnership, like a company that I'm working with for they're like a Wi-Fi company here. Right. I'm gonna give them a free shout out. Sorry guys. But anyways, my connection there was like, oh, look, the video looks great. Yeah. I sent it to them. Here's the ad. are we good to post it? And then they were like, oh, I actually like that girl in the thumbnail, like the main girl that I had in the video as the thumbnail and interviewed. She's like, yeah, that's my friend. And it was like, so many people know who each other are. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, I didn't do anything bad, right? So
yeah.
I was safe. But
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I guess kind of going back to what we said before about the real estate thing, I almost want to preface a little bit for this. And some people might watch it and be like, oh, this doesn't look like a realtor, or, realtors are all serious and maybe a little cringy, and the content out there is
some of them
not
facts.
the best.
Some of them, yeah.
Facts.
Yes, some of them. That's just, you said facts.
Facts.
It just is like, so that is like why I'm wearing a hat. I don't wear a hat to go see $1 million properties, but I think it's important to like show in content
that you can wear multiple hats.
Yes, that you can. Oh, that I see what you're saying. I thought you just meant that I own the hats.
Not literally.
I just want to show off my hats.
Yeah.
No,
the collection.
That you can wear multiple hats and have different personalities. Just because you have a real estate license doesn't mean you're like I said before, I'm not going to wear a suit when I see you. Yeah. Don't expect me to wear a suit unless you're buying a $10 million property. You know what I'm saying? So there's people who are only like that and only walk around in a suit, but there's also people, you just got to find who gets the same vibe as you.
Right.
And, you can trust them, that kind of thing. So there's normal people and cool people out there that are realtors. You just got to find them. So
of course.
I guess that's a little bit of advice.
There's tons of fantastic ones. But there's always the one or two that, I don't know, you almost assume that, okay, maybe, they're trying to be consistent, which again, I appreciate, respect, but maybe they don't have many sales going on. I don't know. And so in turn, they have to kind of turn their attention towards some sort of content that they can get creative of, and whether it's dating or basic lifestyle, like clothing, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. I think I also technically do that because I'm doing like street interviews. They're not exactly related to real estate all the time.
But you're not pushing yourself directly out there.
That's what I was going to say. It's not too far of like a different like subject. Like
you're and I think the difference is that there's a key difference between you're truly educating and not preaching. Yeah. And that's how I see the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People love to buy, consume, but no one likes to be sold to.
Exactly.
Right?
Like when you see a sponsored ad, quickly swipe away. Yeah. Right? On Instagram or TikTok. But when someone's indirectly talking about the product, you're all ears. You want to know it's consumer.
Exactly. Like a lot of the time when I work with companies to promote products, I say like, hey, like, maybe let's work on something, a larger package in the future. Maybe if it's something they can send me, I'll be like, send it to me, and like I'll have it in a video or in the background of a video or whatever, speak about it for a second. And if there's some interest in it, like let's work on that project together. Right. But I try not to have stuff that's sponsored or like make a video just because I need to post an ad or something like that. That's just
like a Wi-Fi company t-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, they sent me merch, but I told them, I was like, hey, if we keep working together, and they're awesome, I'll wear it in like my vlog channel. I have a second channel. It's a vlog channel. It's like low key. I don't talk about the brand at all, but it's good for them because people see the little thing right there. Like it ain't ugly, so it's okay with me, and it's just small. And I'm like, there's no problem with that, Yeah.
So on the topic of, what you kind of look like and how you think that plays into different rules, glasses. So you wear glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have
For those that don't know, my eyes looked weird today. I got laser eye surgery last week, so they're a bit bloodshot still. But
I thought you were just crying.
Yeah. Adam was a little late and I got a little frustrated.
No, I was on time.
No, he was on time. He was on time. So in terms of glasses, very specific. How do you think they do in terms of client face and street interview face? Like, how do you think you get approached? Like, do you get viewed differently, do you think, when you have glasses and versus when you don't?
I would say, it's kind of hard to say. Like, first, I'll say this. When I first started my YouTube channel, I bought the most expensive pair of glasses in the store that looked different. I wanted to have glasses that were like almost my trademark. So I bought these gold rim all the way around, like Barton Pereira glasses or something. They're like $1,000, and that's like way more than I should have bought them for at the time. Like I couldn't really afford that. But then after that, like when I started getting recognized on the street, it was because of my glasses, and I'd wear them out, and it was like my trademark thing. But then Huh?
Your brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, otherwise I just like look like every other white guy, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of white guys here. So I was like, yeah, I gotta have something. And then after a while, I was like, sometimes I felt like I was putting them on. Like I could just wear contacts. I'm wearing contacts right now. I felt like I was putting them on to like look like the next level. Like I was looking a bit too serious almost. It's almost like me wearing a suit. That's not my thing. I don't feel 100% I want to wear what I feel comfortable in. So I don't know if it was.
I mean, it takes a lot of awareness to know that, and you kind of know what you want to put out and how you want to be perceived.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if it was people looking at me different or whatnot, but when I stopped wearing them, people were like, "Oh, I like the no glasses look.
Right.
Like it looks good," and like, "Oh, you look older now," or like stuff like that.
Right.
I don't think people should be concerned maybe too much about like if their own content or their business or whatever will succeed whether they wear glasses or not. But I think if you feel more comfortable not wearing them, then like, maybe wear contacts or get laser eye surgery. Yeah. Cause like if that's what you're more comfortable doing, that's why I don't wear glasses anymore. Cause I don't like it.
So you're off the glasses bandwagon now?
Yeah. Okay. I'm off. I'm quitting cold turkey.
Do you think you'll get laser?
Like probably one day.
Okay.
I think when I don't have contacts in, my eyes aren't so bad that like I need to go put glasses on right away.
Okay.
Like I can be in the house totally fine. I mean, legally I can still drive, but
so they're very low prescription.
Yeah, they're pretty. I don't even remember what it is exactly, but yeah, no, I will at some point. I will at some point.
I suggest it. Like in terms of like I recommend it. Like it was a pretty easy process, and to now wake up, like I'll still have like ghost effects where like I'll wake up and I'll look for my glasses and I have to remember, oh shit, like I don't wear glasses anymore.
Yeah. So what was it like? Like it was it the terrible process?
You're in and out within like an hour or so.
Yeah. And then afterwards, what's the recovery like?
First day, you're just gonna pass out, sleep. Next day, you're kind of drowsy, and then after that, you're good to go. So usually, the place that I went to only does surgeries, I think Thursdays and Fridays, in hopes that your LASIK has improved you enough where on Monday you can go back to work.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, I've
overall,
heard like
great experience.
You got to be careful afterwards, or like not get water in your eyes for a few days or a week
water,
or something.
Can't exercise for a bit. You can't rub your eye. That's a big one because if you rub your eye, the cornea flap could come off, and that's pretty scary.
Yeah. Especially because like, what if you just like wake up and then like you're not thinking about that yet, and you just like wipe your eye? Yeah.
Exactly. So, no. Whistler. You're from Whistler.
I am from Whistler.
Okay.
Born and raised in Whistler.
Nice. How was it?
It was good. I think like that was a really good place to grow up. Like, I did a lot of skiing, snowboarding, biking. I mean, everything, like all the outdoor activities. Like there's mountains up there.
You don't have an Aussie accent, so it's...
No, I don't. That's how you know I'm an OG. Just because I was born there. Yeah. But yeah, when you go back, there's lots of Australian people. But I like Australiling people.
For sure.
I got nothing wrong with them. So.
Do you find that you kind of have your own cohort of people and everyone else is kind of transient? Like they're just kind of coming in, going through Whistler?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think there's like 10,000 people that live there.
Right.
Every time I go back, there's people that I come across.
8,000 are realtors, and then
9,000. Yeah, but there are a lot of realtors, but that's because it's cool up there.
It is,
and I mean,
100% agree.
My real estate team is called Sea and Sky Real Estate,
right?
Because we do business up here and in Whistler, because I grew up in Whistler. So definitely. I was like, I'll do some $15 million chalet homes. Like,
why not?
Reach out if you're trying to buy one. But yeah, it's
now he looks at the camera.
Yeah, exactly. That was an ad for myself right there. Yeah, sponsored by me. But yeah, it was like great place to grow up, and maybe like one day I'll go back there when I'm ready to have a family. Like I think it was great. I visit here and there. It's got like a pretty good party scene, but I don't really party. And it's a good like weekend trip. Maybe not a huge party scene, but like it's a good place to go back.
Right. Where do the locals party? They're not going to Longhorns every weekend.
I mean, Longhorn is pretty classic, honestly, because I mean it's just right by the mountain base. Right. Everyone comes down the hill and goes right there.
Where?
Yeah, I'd say like I've spent the most nights at Garth's there.
There's another one too, isn't there? It's a cowboy one, I think.
Again, see, I said I don't really party.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the Longhorn and Buffalo Bills.
That's the one I was thinking
Buffalo
about,
Bills. Yeah, that's one. Those two are probably the most popular ones. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you think you might eventually go back? You think once you settle down, have a family?
Yeah, because like to be honest, like even when you go to Kitsilano here, there's like houses on where you can jump from like your neighbor's roof to your roof, and like the lot and the yard. The place that I grew up was like a single family home, and like we had a yard, and the dogs would run outside and stuff like that. And I like that, and have a garage, right? But now in Kits, like you find one of those houses where they're like the lots are so small, and it's like kind of like $5+ million for like a not
3,000 square feet worth of land.
Yeah, which means like a 2,000 square foot home. Like it's not that big. And then in Whistler, the prices are still like lower than here technically. So you get more land. There's beautiful homes up there. The house you get for the same money is like way better. And I think it's a good place to have kids grow up, like that kind of stuff. And but I can't move yet because like we were saying before, like downtown Vancouver or just Vancouver in general, that's where stuff's happening.
That's where the hub is.
Exactly. That's where stuff's happening. So I can't go because you try to be a influencer in like Halifax and like good luck unless you're doing something that's like inside your house, right? So
it's so funny. All my friends are from the Fraser Valley, like kind of like Tri-Cities, and similar to you guys in Whistler, you see downtown as like this core hub. But whereas like I grew up in the North Shore, it's like this is like where we came because we were just like 15 minutes away. And then like kind of like we view Toronto that same way, like the next big hub.
Interesting.
I would say so.
You say so too.
I mean,
don't think so?
I personally don't like Toronto that much just because I just don't like it as a city.
I agree.
But it is the next step up for sure. I would say like in terms of like metro city, you look at like Toronto is like, okay,
definitely more business related. I think that's East Coast, West Coast thing too though.
True. That's East Coast, West. That's true.
I definitely get it. And for like a lot of my friends that are in more like business or like, I'd say like actually working for companies in business or finance companies, that's always the step that you go to because that's where the big companies are. I guess maybe I think of it more like creatively, and that's why I think of like, oh, the West Coast is like beautiful and like it's so nice here for content, and there's a lot of creators more over there for sure. Of
course. But population is also way higher too.
Exactly. Way bigger city. I don't know what the population is over there, but it's definitely bigger.
Way bigger. Do you think you're going to be in Vancouver long term, or do you think at some point you have to move south?
What's south?
Like I'd say LA.
I was going to say like, I would say
not Seattle, a little bit further down.
Seattle, like Oregon. No, I would say I'll probably stick around here. Like as a realtor, you like as soon as you move somewhere, you kind of restart your business because like it's all just about your connections. And like if I sold you a house and then it was great, and then you're like, oh, I know this guy. When your friend wants to buy a place, oh, I know this guy and it was great.
And if you're not there,
then it's gone. Like it's literally you start from scratch. But also like the real estate side of things is like that's part of my business, but I'm like more excited about the content. That's what like if everything stopped and I had to start again, I think I'd still be able to make some kind of content and make it work. So I wouldn't say like never, but like honestly probably not. Like I also just don't have any complaints about living here. Not any. Like obviously there's no place is perfect. But I don't.
How much you pay for rent?
How much do I pay for rent?
Sure.
Was that your question? Or
Sure. No, it's actually. Because talking about complaints, right? I'm assuming that's one of the biggest complaints you get more frequently in street interviews is rent prices.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get a lot of. I made a tour of a micro studio apartment that was 100 square feet, and it was renting for like $1,200 in Mount Pleasant, and it was just a tour. And I was like, look at this place. This is a apartment building, $1,200 for your own space. There's a mini golf course downstairs. Inside there's a gym. Cool building, lots of amenities. And I got totally shit on because I was fantasizing the future of real estate and future of like tiny homes and how like
especially
I'm a government plant to tell people and I'm a realtor. Oh, they got me for being a realtor, man, because people just don't like realtors. And like that was an example of that. So that was like, I mean, my rent, honestly, I lived here for a while, so like, rent control here is pretty good for the renters. So my rent's like $2,100 a month, but I have like a 2-bedroom place. And
nice. So I think that's the thing. I think you either get the people that got a really good deal, whether that be during COVID or pre-rent hike, and then you have the people that are just pissed and they're just paying either astronomical numbers or they have to move really far away from their work and the city and everything.
I think that's like one of the biggest issues if you're moving here like these days. Like I'm gonna have to move out of my place because they're gonna tear that building down in the next couple of years and like build something new there. So like I'm gonna have to find a place, And in the meantime, I'm trying to save up like a big down payment for a property so that I can have just a low mortgage payment.
Right.
Even because interest rates are crazy, but just like having a big down payment, that's like kind of your only way to save yourself. If you don't want like a huge monthly fee. Yeah. Or you move away. Like that's kind of what I tell people. If you think about moving here, is like you either make a lot of money and make things work, or like don't, and like it can be harder to get by.
Definitely.
Or like just don't come. And as bad as that sounds, but like it's tough, you know? Not knowing how you're going to pay rent, that's like a huge stress.
Definitely.
You don't want that.
No, of course not. You kind of touched on it a little minute ago in terms of what's the goal. And let's take one step before that. What was the goal back in high school? Like, what did you see yourself? What did little Adam see big Adam do?
Yeah. So after high school, I went to school here in Vancouver. That's why I moved here. There's no like universities in Whistler. That's a big reason people move away. Where'd you go? I went to Vancouver Film School, downtown Vancouver. Went there for a year. It was just a 1-year program for video game development. I did like programming. I did 3D art, design, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was cool. And so it was a 1-year program. Classes like literally from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Honestly, pretty good program. And I got like 2 job offers in my first week out. One of them was from EA. You probably heard of EA, you know?
Wow, impressive.
Yeah, and that was like the worst job offer of my life.
Just like a low ball offer?
Minimum wage, no benefits. They wanted me to move closer to
Burnaby or where?
Yeah, closer to Burnaby. No anything. And that was like right after going to school. And tuition there was like $34,000 a year. Jeez. So 1 year, 34 grand. Then I was like, shit, man, this is my first job offer. Like, did I make a mistake trying to go into this industry? Like, luckily I got saved by another company. And my first job was like $42K a year. So I was doing okay. And I was like 20. So I was like, okay, you know, we're doing fine. But I thought I wanted to work in video games pretty much. Stayed in that industry for like 2 years. I hit like a bit of a ceiling, not really a ceiling, but creatively, like I was mainly a 3D artist, and you have to go home and work on your portfolio to make beautiful art pieces. Even if you're a programmer and all that stuff, you got to have portfolio pieces to like apply to other companies, and then you get raises, but you got to be passionate because you don't work 8 hours, then go home and work 4 hours on your portfolio.
Business, though, really.
Exactly. You have to like it. Like after this, I'm going to go home and work. Then I'm going to have dinner. And then after that,
work again.
I'm going to go back to work. But that's because I like it.
Work?
Like
I'm sure there's instances where it's like, okay, this is not fun. I have to because it's just the logistics of my business. Yeah. But I'm sure the overarching theme is not really work.
Someone asked me the other day what I would do if I had all the money in the world.
Yeah, that's
where would I live and what would I do?
Yeah,
and I was like, I'd honestly probably do the same thing.
Right.
And again, there's parts that suck, and there's videos that I gotta edit that I don't want to.
Which is stepping stone.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly. And it's like there's ups and downs. You just gotta deal with it. But
okay, so after this job, not EA, the other one.
Yeah. So. Worked in the game industry for like 2 years, and it was fine, but I was like, this is when the entrepreneurial like spirit kind of started to hit me, and I was like, damn, it's expensive here, and damn, I don't make enough money to like do this stuff. And I started watching YouTubers who were in LA with their Teslas and doing crazy stuff, and I was like, I want to do that kind of thing, but you need to have like a side hustle or a bigger company. So I just started a YouTube channel about Vancouver as a side hustle, and it was just like, I actually started one channel that was a personal finance channel and one about Vancouver. And I was like, I'm going to work on both of them for 2 months, and whichever of the two does better, I quit the other one. And and I just work on that one and see how it goes. So the Vancouver one did better. Just videos that were like, things I wish I knew before I moved to Vancouver, or how much is rent in Vancouver? Like very just SEO friendly, information-based videos.
Clean
like
content.
I was, like if you watch those videos, like I am literally like, I'm talking like, hello, welcome to this YouTube video, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you what, this is really bad stuff, right?
But it's cool that you still have records of all those that you can look back on and see how much you've grown though. Yeah,
and I keep them up even if they're a little bit cringe, because like people can go back and see like where's this person come from. And then I think that tells part of the story for those people too, you know? So I just started that, and then over the next like year and a half, it just grew over COVID to like the point where I think a lot of people were like looking for somewhere to move or something after COVID, wanted to travel places, and people just saw my Vancouver videos. And the YouTube channel grew from there. And over time, I just expanded in different ways, started making, TikToks, property tours, got my real estate license to like work together with the business because I already had the eyeballs on me in the city.
Right.
And then so far it's worked. I just had my like 1 year in real estate, and I did like 7/8 deals in my first year.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty good. Not to pump my own tires, but I think the average is not that high. So,
but I think that's great. I mean, how important do you think consistency is? Like I've had I try to be very consistent with my own business social media, and there's a lot of realtors or other businesses that like will be like, hey, can we grab coffee and just tell me how you run your social media? And I tell them all this information. The next week they go buy the mic, they go buy the best iPhone and everything. For 2 weeks they're on it and then gone. And I was like, well, what was the point of all that, right? So how important do you find consistency is, not only in your side hustle like content creation, but also in your real estate portfolio?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most important things for both of those, like specifically for content. I think the main reason it's so important is because you just see what does and doesn't work. Every piece of content you make is you like A and B testing. Right. That's why you should look at like other people in your niche, see their content, see what like everyone who's made content in your niche, they're just A and B testing for you. Yeah. Like you see their stuff, look at how it does, and then go from there. But I think when you're consistent and you make a video and you're like, oh, this is like a good video, and then it comes out and like it just doesn't get the views and the support that you thought it would, like there you go, that's a lesson. Yeah. Right. And if you do that 100 times versus 20 times because you're more consistent, then like growth is 5x right Definitely. There. Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that are realtors, and they're always talking about, I need more clients and all this, and they're looking for like to pay different, like crazy numbers for lead generation. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you paying anything for lead gen when you're not even consistent with the free platforms that are out there? Doesn't make any sense to me. Like anyone can just pick up a phone and start recording something, post it out there. Do that before you start pumping any money into your business, I think.
Like relationship advice. No,
exactly.
No, not like that. But that's the problem is like, I think like we said before, some people just don't know what good content is.
Right.
Like what's the difference between me?
But again, I think I think any content is better than no content.
Okay.
I have to say, I think, as a realtor, you're selling essentially yourself as the brand. So your face has to be out there in some capacity.
Yeah, no, it is true. Yeah. I think the more people see your face, the more they recognize you, right? That's why real estate agents have their faces on signs and those stuff.
Exactly. Again, why would you pay for a sign if you're not even on social media yet?
Because of learning the new task is scary. Yeah. Instead, let me throw my money at it and I hope someone else can get me some leads. Because when you think about it also, I mean, there's different ways to do it, right? Like, I bet that works for some people, right? But I have also done paid ads to see like what it's like. When I had some more money from some deals, I was like, let me see, like, does it work? Like in my case, like it's a lot way better doing like just natural, organic leads, because those are people that like they watch this or they watch a video of mine or 10 videos of mine. Now they've spent 2 hours with me, so when they call me for the first time, they're like, yo, like
they
what's
already know everything about you.
And then I'm like, okay, they know, like
you've broken the ice with essentially everyone that you're going to work with without even meeting them yet.
Exactly. So it's better for both of us, because sometimes you get a cold lead from like one of those paid things online, and then you're like, hi, and they're like, hi, and they're like, who's this? And they're like, who is this? Like, you called me, or like whatever, just like things
they think they already know you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you don't even know if you get along, so the relationship is just like, so
for sure.
Overall, if you can do organic stuff, it's way better.
I find that I was told a long time ago that for your business page you want to be somewhat like 80%, these are just figurative numbers, but 80% business related for your social media, 20% personal. And that 20% is what people can then relate to you with. Yeah. So for example, like sometimes I'll like go to a business, like a coffee shop, or even like I get my car washed somewhere, that I'll promote that business, and then someone will just reach out through a DM and be like, oh, how was the car wash, whatever. And that just builds some sort of initiation for a conversation very organically. And then that could potentially lead into a potential client.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, sharing parts of your life. Maybe it's a photo of your car, and there's other people that are car people, and they like your car, and you start that conversation, right? Like, I think also for like creator or more influencer people, sometimes they are the business. So like you definitely see a lot of them. Like even I would say I try to do more almost like 50-50 business, and like I have a separate real estate Instagram where I post new listings and like sold posts, because like it's too salesy. I can't post that in front of you because I wouldn't want to see that, and I'm not the salesy kind of guy, right? So yeah, I gotta split it up a little, but I'd say I do like almost more 50-50 even. Like
I think you've surpassed that. I think for the average person though, I think the percentage is different, but definitely I think you're definitely, as you said, even with the two things that you were starting your YouTube channel, you're seeing what's working and you're kind of indirectly using that to leverage real estate.
Yeah. I think you're right about the 80-20 as well. Yeah. Like for most businesses.
At least at the ground state of it all.
Yeah, because there are some accounts that I follow where I have friends who have businesses, and it's like 100% business, and there's nothing to connect with really. Yeah. It's just the product.
Yeah, like your friends that are realtors, and like they just have the one page, and it's just like market update. I'm like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, there was a market update today, and that's all my feed is filled.
5% interest. It stayed the same.
Yeah, I saw that multiple times this morning. Yeah,
So okay. What about you? Any questions?
I would say I wanted to know, like, explain how you like go about, say, filtering people from the content side to actually like buying a property, for example, because I think it's super unique. And like how do you funnel people over? Like, how does that look?
Like from people seeing like the videos, and then how do they turn into clients almost, right? Like
because I'm assuming that you don't really like go out there and put yourself out there as a realtor. You kind of like put most of your energy into the content creation, and somehow it filters over, right? Yeah,
that's exactly right. And honestly, there might be some people or clients like lost in the transition of like, sometimes I do a property tour. You'll never hear me say like, hey guys, like I'm a realtor, let's go take a look at this property, because then boom, people are like, get this guy out of my face. So there's times where like people will watch those tours and they don't actually know I'm a realtor, and it's kind of like I'm like, okay, there might be a little bit of a loss that people don't know I'm a realtor. But if they see my stuff enough, and I'm in that stage right now where I'm just making a lot of tours, I'm just trying to get seen as much as possible. Over time, people see me a second time, then a third time. Wow, this guy's touring nice properties. Let me like see his account. And then you open up my Instagram and it says in my bio.
Once you go down that rabbit hole, they start learning everything about you.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can find my information. It's pretty easy. Yeah. You just type in my name, right? So my bio says like Vancouver, good videos, and a chill realtor. But that's the most it says. And for a while, I just changed it to almost toy with what you're saying of like, sometimes they might not know I'm a realtor. So I changed it to see if I get some more inquiries, because it used to say Vancouver, real estate, and good videos. It's more low key. And I probably will go back to that, because that's like the type of person. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to give it off too much. So yeah, some people might not know, but if you see me enough and you see me doing these tours and you look at my bio one time or page, then you can see like, this guy's also a realtor. So people who are like in the real estate space, they see my videos, I feel I look like a genuine person and just relaxed, then they reach out to me because they're like, yeah, this guy actually just seems like a normal guy, and he's not wearing a suit in all the photos and that kind of thing. And then from there, we meet, see if it's a good fit. I always tell people like, I mean, this is good that we met for the first time, but also like meet with like a couple of people, and if you like them better, then that's how it was supposed to be.
I will talk to you again after, but
yeah. Like, I do know where you live, but, no, I think that's just the best way to do it, because then everyone's like, I hope that me saying that also it shows like character. I don't and I also don't, I'm not gonna force anything, So
what advice do you have for any small business that is just about to start their social media presence? What's some key tips that you'd recommend them do? Whether it be equipment, whether it be branding, material, or presence, like what are your tips?
I'd say like maybe I'll do two that came to mind right away. There's an iPhone 12.
Okay.
I'm 3 iPhones behind, but I shoot all my content on this, and people ask me what camera I have.
Right.
It's not definitely not the camera. Yeah, it's how you use it. Invest in one of these. a tripod that attaches to your phone.
That's pretty cool.
Shoot a lot of content on this. He'll put my affiliate link below.
Do you use a gimbal ever?
Not really. I have a gimbal, but it's one of those things that it's like, it's honestly not like, it's a little bit overkill for most people. It's going to be overkill.
Right.
Even my property tours, I do a weird step to make it smooth, the B-roll and stuff. So I'd say like the gear, get the basics.
Okay.
If it's not that great, upgrade over time.
So
but
you
like,
don't need to spend a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like an iPhone 12 is the minimum phone you should get. I'll say that because that's when the camera got good.
Okay.
Shoot in 4K 60 FPS on your phones. You can change that in the settings to be default.
You see all these different people like have different settings, like tutorials. Is anything special, or is it just 60 at 4K?
60 4K, keep it simple, do that, and your videos will look very clean. 60 FPS, so that when you like pan your phone like this, everything stays smooth. That's the quick explanation.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need to shoot raw or all this other stuff that people talk about unless you really want to get into it.
Yeah.
But business owners starting out, they don't need to do that.
Sure.
And then secondly, I would say is like use TikTok and Instagram Reels. There is a coffee shop that opened up on my street, or it's actually a decor shop, and I shot some like Reels and TikToks for them because really nice owner. She was just building her website. She couldn't do it all at once, and I was like, let me shoot some like videos of your decor in here, post on your Instagram, and like they get like thousands of views, but that might not sound like a lot, but for a shop, if you're a physical location,
small in general,
exactly,
a couple of thousand is a large number. You're not in some random place in LA where you need millions of views to be seen. All you need is a couple hundred, couple thousand, a few thousand, and it's targeted to exactly who you want them to be seen to, shown to.
Exactly. Like TikTok knows so much of where you are and shows you content of where you are. I was just posting one before I went on vacation at TikTok, and I was like, I got to post it before I leave the country, because if I post it when I'm in Europe, it's going to get shown to all the people in Europe. Like it knows, right?
It shows useless to what you actually want to push out there.
Exactly. Yeah. So that part would be like use short form content, super simple. Follow accounts on Instagram that are similar to you, similar niche. Like I said before, A and B testing. People making content are just A and B testing for you, and you can just see how it goes, how it works. My tours, I see so many tours these days are just like mine, almost like word for word, which is fine. I'm not inventing tours or anything, but do that, and then they work well. Like see what works.
How important do you think it is to be camera facing? In terms of like, do you need to be like your face in front of the camera, or can you just do voiceovers and be behind the camera? Because I think a lot of people are too scared to immediately jump in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm. I'd say like, it depends on your type of content. If you're doing real estate, maybe you should be in front of it. Probably, as a realtor, you should be able to do that.
Your face is your brand.
Yeah. Or at least like some people show their face and then they're like, oh, come take a look, and then it's a voiceover or something like that. I don't think it's necessary for all businesses, but if you're gonna do only a voiceover, then you better make it funny. You better have a joke in there, because if it's just you telling me what's going on, like you're gonna lose me.
Right.
So, if you see someone's face and they're talking to you, it's more engaging than just a voiceover. So you can do it, but add something else if you're not going to add the face and the personal connection in there. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Questions? No, I think that's super dope.
Covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Adam J. Bell, Instagram and TikTok, The Adam J. Bell. Give me a follow, shoot me a DM. I respond to my DMs as well. And that's everything.
Cool, man. Anything you want to put out there before we end off?
Let me think for a second. As I take a sip. I can't think of anything.
No, okay. Well, with that being said, thanks for everyone for joining. We'll be back with another guest and a new episode coming soon.
Peace.
Cool.